Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up, your weekly edition. And this is for the weekend as we're sitting here on March 31st, last day of March 2023. And what a crazy month this has been, my friends. Wow. Bank collapses, President Trump indicted, craziness abroad all over the world, strikes, Macron having his issues in France. I can go on and on. And yet the markets go on. And can you believe how the stock market ended up with a rally? Now, some profit taking hit gold at month end, lifted the dollar a little bit today, but gold's been on a terrible being good, a terrible run to the upside, got itself over the 2000 level, and that could be a sign of things to come. We'll talk about that in a minute. Energy markets came alive. Now, let me warn you about energy. You know, we keep seeing individual numbers that are coming down. If you saw today's PCE number, for example, and you went month to month, you see some numbers, the biggest ones you've ever seen fall. But once you put back in and you take out the energy moves in the food, you got sticky inflation. And you have it not only here, you have it in Europe in a huge way. And that's a real problem for the world. And now what's worse is energy prices have gone $10 off these lows. Part of that, and a large part, is due, there's a problem with about 500,000 barrels a day of oil. That's a lot. And that comes out of northern Iraq and the two governments. Remember, the government in Baghdad, I think they recognize the government in the north, but not in the way you think. Each one thinks they should be ruling the country. Well, the problem is that they had agreed to and this is about 10 years ago, they had agreed to some cases in a way, instead of fighting each other physically, they'll have a consul, if you will. Turkey's involved in that because there's a pipeline, and they will decide the disputes. Well, a dispute just got resolved in favor of Baghdad, so now the northern government, I'm giving you the simple version. The names don't matter. The way it goes is they got to go talk on Sunday. Can they do something? If you heard me with my usual rapport, I said royalties. The world needs the oil. The northern region needs the revenue. Baghdad, the last thing they need is another civil war. Royalties, okay? Think of royalties. There's another one of these events happening between the two also that the consul has to do. Find a way to work it out. Money's an amazing thing. You know, if you want to start another war, try to starve the people out in the north, and all of a sudden you're going to have a potentially civil war on your hands again. Is it worth it? I don't think so. When I look at the gold market, though, you can see it had a heck of a run. It got to 2014.90 on a monthly chart. Impressive. And the month is over, so this was a heck of a month. You were up 7% for the month. Whoops, let's come over here. I want to get to where I was, just there. Yeah, that's it. I want to come back to where we were. Let me get back here. And that was the monthly, yep. And here we are. I knew one of them. And I wasn't used to this because I put this up for you just recently. This number's closer to 210. I couldn't get the exact line to set. But this is what you're fighting now. You're really much closer in the 1985 area to a resistance point. You can see on a closing basis, not the highs. This is a weekly chart of only closes where you're at. But what if I share with you that for the week, while you had that stellar performance on the month, you're actually down 0.75 percentage point. It doesn't feel like it, but that's what's happened. And when you look at the chart, you can see how you got up here to the 2000 level. The pattern has been one of higher lows, higher highs, classic bullish, and it began back here, these two. And do you remember, you know, this is back in October, November, when this all began moving to the upside. The market had a beautiful test, and I was there with you on it, saying that, you know, folks, I think that 1815, 1810 level is going to be very supportive on the weekly and on the daily charts. We talked, and the trade did occur. Now, you're at the Bollinger Band. I know you don't believe me. Bollinger Bands have a way of creating a problem for a market. They're a natural resistance point. The algorithm is set. so that 95% of the time, it will adjust to the price of the market and keep prices within it, not outside of it. When you get up and over it, you have, in theory, the idea that 95% of the time the market's going to go against you, it's going to come back down. When we go to the gold-silver chart on a weekly basis, I thought this was the better play for my clients. I thought we were going to come back a minimum to the 18-week average of closes. You did. And in the silver, you've lifted the market, you've run. Now, the daily charts have an embedded reading. And it got me excited, and I told traders to go in. I wasn't using the big size contract because of this setup. I want to be honest. This didn't offer the trade. It's the daily charts that did. This offered the spot to get out of all shorts. Oversold, hitting the lower band. If the market continues to run, I will share with you. I've already told my subscribers in the morning, and I want you to join me in the mornings at those at that recording. That's the baby recording. That's where I say buy, sell, do whatever, and I earn my Swiss cheese. You'll see me wrong, you'll see me right, but you'll see money management with it and a lot of tools. And I explain every trade. It's not like, hey, I'm writing a report, I want you to buy gold because of blah, blah. No, we look at the chart, we put them all together, and we'll look at everything together. I don't think you're going to easily get beyond that. Support, if you decide to pull back in the 2287 level. In the copper market, you know how bullish long-term I am copper. I see supplies disappearing. I see that because I do believe that China is going to rev up this engine. COVID's not an issue anymore. They're doing more trade abroad. They've turned inward. One of the property developers just made the equivalent of $2 billion. I don't remember a property developer making any money recently. So that's a piece of good news. Is it Evercore, the big other company that they have that's the property? They're getting refinancing. They're not into a total state of collapse. You know, a year ago, that was the whole thing. The markets were falling apart. Well, when that giant awakens and they want copper, away you go with it. By the way, in silver, one of the big things people are pointing to is solar panels and the use and the demand of silver for those panels. And with energy prices and with energy itself, fossil fuels being phased out, well, be it wind, solar, you know, there's other avenues that people are looking at. In the platinum market, you are on the verge of a potential breakout. You're at key resistance. So let's first take it from the bear point. You have lower highs, lower lows. The pros are probably selling here at 1,150. I think if you get over 1012, especially on a weekly basis, closing, you break out to the upside and you open the potential at least to get to the upper Bollinger Band. That's what I'm seeing. In the dollar index, no, I'm not going to give you anything. We're going to go and we'll do my special report. It's either tonight after this and or in the morning, I'm going to do my special gold report. I have one more video after this one to do, see how I feel, and then away we go. So you put that all together and we will cover it in great detail. That was all my news. Now, what am I talking to you about? You know, I like to do these video reports and I wait for key event times to do them. So this one's going to be on the currency market. Now, I'm going to give you seasonal charts from the More Research. Our price count charts, things you've never seen. They're unique to Linn and Associates. I had them bring them all up to date for me today. Then we're going to cover the weekly charts. We'll cover the daily charts. UUP, I'm going to cover that because some of you want to trade the ETF, not the futures. How are you going to get it? You can come up to the top here and give a click. It won't be there possibly tonight. Check again on Saturday, okay? You can check it. It costs nothing to check it. But then go to our website at iraepstein.com and you'll go up and it'll be in the research area. When you pull down, you'll see the dollar report that I put up, okay? If you have a question, you can always call my staff. It is the weekend. I don't know that they'll get back to you right away. They certainly will by Monday at the latest. And because I'm going to put it up tonight, you get a few extra days of seeing it. So it's over the weekend. Normally, if I put it up Monday, you only have 72 hours and that's it. You'll get a little more time. But I think it's going to be an important report. I've already prepped all the charts, so I know where I'm at, and that took me a day. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great weekend. Watch F1 racing. That comes on tonight, Chicago time at 8:30. It's one of the things that could get in my way. You know, I'm hooked on it. I love F1 racing. I am Ira. You have a great one.